Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome to a Tuesday night KSP live stream. I can see, Jack and Mac, DJ Wizard Brandon above the line are some of the people who are here already. And the good news is that I've got a secondary camera now on my monitor here, so that I've got a little webcam for work, and then I've got that thing for my live streams. I've got them separate now, which is brilliant. And the fact that you can't see, like, I'm just tapping the top of the webcam there, brilliant. It's not in shot. It's the first time I've tried that. Hello everybody, yes, KSP, and if you've been following along, listening to the announcements and all that sort of good stuff, you will know that tonight is our last regular KSP for Season 4, Series 4. There is unlikely to be any Series 5, and the reason for that is that, well, I feel like if we're going to do any KSP again in the future, it's probably going to be KSP 2, isn't it? That's probably what, so that'll be KSP 2 Season 1. But if we fancy doing some KSP, we can come back to this series and put a few more episodes on the end of the playlist. So if you are not watching live, you're watching this sometime in the future, check the playlist. There's a link in the video description. Look at that playlist, see where you are in that playlist, and see if we've already added some more extra episodes, because by the time you watch this, we might have done. But we are going to wrap a whole bunch of things up tonight and bring a load of our Kerbals home. But it's time to see what happened last time. Give ourselves a bit of a reminder. And thank you very much to Jack and Mac. Here it is. If I've queued it up right, let's find out. The rovers are here. The old science base is there, and we're heading straight down. And we're down to our last 100 metres. 8 metres per second we're dropping. That's not the right one, is it? Is it, Jack? Yeah, that is the wrong one. I haven't queued it up. Okay. It will start, it will stop, and then it'll be the right one. Here we go. The rovers are here. As you can see, we've got a maneuver node ready to have an Eve encounter. Right, there we go. We've got an orbit. It's a really wonky one. Oh my goodness. There it is. Wow, look at... Is that an aurora or just... Oh, whatever that is, it looks beautiful. So if we go here, look, there's the atmosphere, and we are well above it at the moment. Oh, we're getting heating. We're getting heating issues. We've gone to Eve. We've got into an orbit of Eve. We've touched the atmosphere of Eve. Now we're going to try and splash down. I really don't think this is going to go well. We're currently travelling at 3.1 kilometres a second, and we have 1600 metres per second at delta V. We are actually starting to go over where I wanted to land. Oh my goodness. Okay, things are starting to really hot up. I guess we'll bring in one of the solar panels. We're still hurtling around the planet at like max 7. So we are almost certainly going to lose control of this, unless we can rotate to cool off those temperature gauges a little. We're going to start to see explosions now. There was something going. I don't know what it was. I think it might have been one of the one of the batteries are still... Oh, no. That engine's overheating. There's not much I can do about it. We may as well, I guess we may as well fire the engine. Let's fire the engine. Nope, we have lost probe control now. We can't fire the engine. It's not going to splash, and there's going to be more explosions. The engine's about to blow. Oh, so many explosions. Oh, there we go. Oh dear. Considering that was the first time we sent a probe to another planet, we did really, really well. The Eve Exploder. Maybe it should have been called the Eve Exploder. We can see here that quite early on the antenna broke off due to aerodynamic forces. That's what lost our ability to fire the rocket later on, and then just so many different things exploded. Looks like some parts got up to 2,688 Kelvin. So we'll go back to the Space Center. There we go. There we go. Thank you very much, Jackamak, for that. And I think what we might do is I'll arrange with Jackamak to have all the Since Last Times put together into one video, and we'll stick it in the playlist after this live stream. So watch out for that. That'll be a fantastic little highlight reel of the series so far. Yes, a final compilation. Yeah, we can do that. It'll be nice to watch that. I'll look forward to that. We've done a lot of firsts in this series. I've learnt a lot. We've killed some people. We've had some successes. There's been some explosions and all sorts. So we'll have to see how it goes. But here we go. Here we go. Back into KSP. So then, what do we need to do? Well, first of all, I'm going to cover what has happened since last time. So we have 4 labs processing data into science. There is one on the surface of Minmus, one on the surface of the moon, one orbiting the moon, and one orbiting Kerbin. Now, what I've done since last time is we've fast forwarded a couple of years and downloaded the science from those 4 laboratories. And we now have, as you can see, just up here, 4,367.7 science, which is brilliant because, if any of you can remember, we need just over 4,000 to finish unlocking everything. So that's the first thing we're going to do tonight. We're going to go over to the R&D department. You can see that we've unlocked all of this. I have never unlocked everything within here before, but we can now rapid fire spend these points and get the last things. So the last things are the experimental science, which gives us the large ore holding tank, and the narrow band scanner, 1,000 research points. Large probes, which gives us the MPO probe, the MTM stage, and the RCL-01 remote guidance unit. Basically, one of the best drone guidance units, control parts you can get. 1,000 experience. Then down here we have automation. This is the Mark II drone core designed to fit aircraft. And we have the Communotron 8888 and the RA100 relay antenna. A truly formidable antenna. That's 550 research. Then down here we have our specialized electronics. So we have the Z 4K rechargeable battery bank, a huge battery bank indeed, along with the fuel cell array. We have already unlocked the fuel cell. This is the fuel cell array. Another 550 research. And finally, to cap it off, to finish things where they should be, after 6 years, 359 days, 4 hours and 57 minutes of this Let's Play, we have that thermoelectric generator, the PBNUK, and also the mini version, the mini NUK PD, radioscopic, no, damn, I was doing so well, radioisotope thermoelectric generator for a final 1,000. Boom. Done. So that is every single piece of possible research. It doesn't even fit on the screen. Like, I zoom out, you can't view both ends at the same time. As the maximum zoom. The UI, I think, is scaled up from the default, so it's easier for you guys to see and stream some videos. But there we go. So what we'll probably do at some point in the future is we'll do a special live stream where we just come back and we just play around with a lot of this tech. But for now, it's available to us if we so desire to have it. And we still have a little bit of science left. There we go, folks. What does everybody think about the various different components? Is there anything in there that you think we should be using sometime soon? Hey? Brandon says, I just defeated like 4 AI drones in EVE whilst AFK mining watching this. Brandon, quite a few of us have been playing some EVE Online. Okay, folks, let's quickly cover this. So, I used to play a lot of EVE. I've played EVE on and off for a long time. At the moment, me and some of the subscribers have started playing EVE. It's a publicly open corp for anybody who follows my content. If you want to come along and give it a go, EVE is free up to a certain point. So there's like so many ships and so many skills you can join in with for free, and you can have a good laugh and get involved and just see what the game's like. You've got nothing to lose apart from a bit of time, and of course that time is well spent playing games, of course. There is a link on my website for you to sign up if you wish to do so, because if you decide to pay money to play the premium or omega content, then me and I think you as well get an extra little bonus of some description. So if you want to know more about that, there's an EVE channel in my Discord. Head over to the Discord and check that out. The link to the Discord, of course, is on the website. So. Yes, hellish places /schedule. Why did I do /schedule? Why did I do the schedule command? I did the schedule command and I meant to do the hellish places command. Never mind. So we have completed our first objective of unlocking absolutely everything. Last time we completed an objective of visiting a planet, although we weren't successful in landing on it. I feel like one of the special episodes that we may do in the future will be like a brand new visit to a brand new planet where I am determined to be successful. But for now, we have some Kerbals. Quite a few of them out in space, and every single one of them is out there to help us generate science, which we don't need anymore. So it's mission complete for all of our Kerbals. So if we, I wonder if we can find out exactly where they are in the academy. Let's take a look. Not the academy, the astronaut complex. So if we go to the assigned, yes, here we go. If you bear with me a moment, I will check that. Let's see here. There we go. So we've got Real Fella, who's on the moon base. We've got Nudger, also on the moon base. Then we've got J-Bay, who's in the moon space station. Network 17 in the Kerbal space station. We've got Jesse Kaboom in the Minma space and Wizard Brandon in the Minma space. These guys are all out there, and their only purpose is to generate science, and now we don't need any more. It's time to bring them all home. And each one is in a different situation. So let's go and visit them and see what we need to do. And then I'll take suggestions from chat about how we're going to approach that. The easiest one, I think, is going to be the Kerbal space station. There we go, there's the space station. It's a relatively simple space station. It's almost identical to the one orbiting the moon. We have done various upgrades to it. We started off with just a core section which had this control unit, which is got the main processor in it, and the crew quarters. Later we came along and we added the science module, and we added the fuel tanks. We also added RCS fuel tanks, and we also added these solar arrays at either end as well. Is it called the KISS? The Kerbal International Space Station? It could be. It could be. That's a really good name for it, actually, if we were naming things randomly. So you can see here at this space station we've got Network 17. Now, there is a vessel docked to this space station. It's here, just on the central node here. Now, this isn't the ship that Network 17 arrived in, but I left it here in case we wanted to bring Network 17 home. So I'm going to leave this up to chat. Are we going to bring each Kerbal back to the orbit of Kerbin and then bring them down one by one? Or shall I grab it, concentrate on each one at once? So get Network 17, get them home, get the next one, get them home. Or should we do it like a little bit of a staged approach for each one? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and we'll figure that out. You can see that this is not old tech because it's got the better command pod and it's got the good solar panels, but it is slightly old tech because I think, well, I don't know actually. I can't remember which communitron I was using. A group ship could be interesting. So what you're saying is that bring like a group transport ship up to the space station, bring everybody here and take them all back home. I mean, I was just going to get them all orbiting Kerbin at the same time and then drop them down one by one. Rapid fire drop in. What do we think? One large ship to pick everyone up. Okay, well, I'll tell you what the situation is for the other ones before we make a final before we make the final decision. So there's one person in the Kerbin space station, or KISS, and there is a spaceship here which we could use to pick them to bring them back already. If we go over to the moon and go to the lunar or the Mooner space station, I should say. There, we're in the dark. Let's just fast forward until we're in sunlight. There we go. So this one is exactly the same as the other one, except the tug is missing. It's somewhere floating around the moon. And we've got two spaceships docked. We've got a refueling craft, which we probably ought to just crash into the surface of the moon or something. And then, well, we might be able to get it back. It doesn't take a lot of fuel to get one of these rockets back. But then we've got this transport ship. Now, this transport ship is actually the one that is for the two crew that's on the surface of the moon. So they've got a way to get back. Now, this ship here is only for landing on the moon and back again. It cannot enter Kerbin's atmosphere. And I'm pretty sure, how many can that hold? How many crew can get in there? Crew capacity. What's the crew capacity of the Mark II lander can? Can't see from here. Which is a shame. I don't know how many we can fit in there. I might have to go back and check that out, but I don't think there's enough for J-Bay to get in there. And there isn't a spaceship here for J-Bay. So if that spaceship only holds two, and there's two on the surface that's going to come up and use it, that's that one full to bring back. Okay. I really don't think we can do one massive round trip with a big ship. It's just so inefficient. And we already have some ships out there. So we'd have to figure out how to get JB back if we can't get 3 in there. I'm pretty sure we can only get 2 in there. The Mark II... You know what? I'm going to have a quick look. Let's have a look. Mark II lander can, Kerbal wiki. Let's have a look. Yep. Usage provides. What's this? I can't see where it says. Volume, cost, pitch, torque. Maximum crew capacity of 2. Yes, so we cannot bring J-Bay back in that landing can. So we're going to have to think about how we're going to bring J-Bay back. One thing we could do, and please forgive me if you think this is absolutely ridiculous, is that we could stick the Lunar lander on the end of the fueling ship and bring that back in. So we don't have to send a new ship out here, because I think we've got enough fuel. They're empty, but that's got a load in. Yeah, we've got plenty of fuel. So we could actually use the lander to bring JB back on the top of the fuel TR-10. Okay? So we've got that to consider. Then, yeah, that sounds a bit weird. Bit fun. Then we've got Brandon and somebody else. Let's just switch to that base and just see who's in it. I always remember that Brandon's here because we accidentally left him in orbit of Mimnus once. Oh, and Jesse. So we can't see it very well because it's in pitch darkness. So let's warp to sunrise. There we go. But we have this microscopic base on the surface here. So what I was thinking is that we, yeah, lots of ice cream in orbit, is we launch a TR-10 passenger variant, then we launch a TR-10 fuel variant, we refuel, once they're in orbit, we refuel the passenger, and then deorbit the fuel one, and then the passenger one will be full of fuel, and what we'll try and do is a Kerbin to Minmus, land, pickup, and return journey with just one craft. Without refueling at Minmus, because we have ran out of fuel in that space station. So what I was thinking before this stream was we just bring one down from the Kerbal one with the rockets that's there. The two from the surface of the moon just come back in the one that they arrived in. J-Bay on the space station comes back on the top of the fuel TR-10 using the lunar lander. Lunar lander, sorry. And then these guys get a brand new ship that we refuel with docking. That was what I was thinking. Has anybody got any thoughts on that? Any requests? I have seen, yeah, a couple of people have said one large ship to pick up everyone, but that would be potentially insanely crazy on the fuel economy to do. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you think, folks, and then we'll get cracking and do it. So I know there's a bit of a delay, so I'm just going to give you a second to get on that. A bit crazy. Yeah, it would be very crazy to try and do that whole thing. I mean, each one's got its own little bit of kind of craziness about it. So the one that we'd bring down from the Kerbin space station, that rocket hasn't been used in a very long time, and I have no idea how good it is to re-enter the atmosphere. Bringing the two Kerbals from the surface back on the ship they arrived in would mean taking the lunar lander down, getting them on board, bringing that up to the space station, transferring them to the one they want, and then go back. And then bringing J-Bay on the lunar lander on the fuel one, and then do the extra trips. So I don't know. Has anybody got any other ideas? I mean, I was thinking about, can I like attach a command pod to the side of the other TR-10, so J-Bay can kind of hitchhike on that. I don't know. Maybe we could bring back one of the hitchhiker landing jobby things. Put J-Bay in that? Do you think it'd explode on re-entry? I don't know whether the hitchhiker lander can would explode on re-entry on the top of a TR-10 rocket. I'm not sure. What do we think? What's the general consensus, folks? DJ seems to be kind of interesting to do each one. You could bring back the whole lunar lander and the Minmus space station. I could definitely bring back the whole lunar lander. The whole and the Minmus space station. Oh, you could bring back the whole lunar and Minmus space stations, not lander. Bring back the space stations? How would you deorbit a space station? I mean, if we was going to deorbit a space station, we need to do that with nobody on board, because that's going to go all sorts of wrong. We could do it. We could try it. Tell you what, should we go around and collect everyone, and then afterwards maybe try and deorbit one of the space stations just for fun? We won't save the game. We'll just do it for laughs. What do we think, folks? Does that sound like a plan? I think it does. I'm going to get ready to get the TR-10s up into space whilst I'm waiting for you guys to reply on that. Okay, so we're going to need 2 TR-10s, which is Test Rocket 10. Just connect everything to one ship. I don't think that would be a horrible mess. We could end up killing absolutely everybody, and we really don't want to do that. Okay, so there is the TR-10 booster. We're going to merge the second stage on the top like we always do. Then we're going to merge a fuel module onto the top of that. Don't think that's on properly. There we go. And the idea is that we can take this. I think we just ditched the nose cone on this one. We can take this and put it into a parking orbit, and then once we do our person transporter, our Kerbal transporter variant, then we'll use this one to reload, and then we can bring it back. Connect everything to one ship. I mean, what we could do is connect 2 of the TR-10s together and do a double re-entry. What do we think of that, folks? Anybody want me to try a double re-entry with the TR-10s? Brandon's like, ooh. Cool. Okay. So we're going to warp to sunrise because we generally rely on having some solar power. We're going to switch to flying mode, and we're just going to see if the joystick is working. Yep, does appear to be the case. Throttle is all good. Okay. So we'll get our fuel in the top right. We need to check our staging because our staging messes up when we construct this together. So we want our separation to be before we blow our engines there. This separation wants to be separate from chutes, but I think that's okay. And yeah, that all looks good to me. So full throttle, SAS on. We're going to use fine controls for this one as well. And I think we're ready to put this in orbit. So it looks like you guys seem to want me to connect ships together, so I think what we'll do is try and at least connect 2 of the ships together and see if we can bring them in. Okay, yep, everything looks good. Let's launch this thing. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it didn't go. Why didn't it go? I pressed the wrong button. There we go. Actually, I accidentally opened up the solar panels with the wrong button there, so I just press it again. They'll go away. Okay, so we've had a good launch. I'm going to attempt to do our roll now. Even with fine controls, this thing just flips round. TR10 has cleared the pad. We're going at 150 odd meters per second. We're throttling down now to about half power. Okay, maybe a bit of like 2/3 power. We still want to be accelerating. We're coming up to 5 kilometers, so I'm going to start gently nudging us over. We don't want to be going too much over at this stage, but we do want to start that maneuver. We do want to start pitching downrange. There we go. We need to get that periapsis over. But if we go too much, we induce too much resistance. Okay, so we're about just over 11 kilometers up now. So I'm going to throttle up and continue to pitch much more steeply. Nice and gently though. Here we go. I'm going to try and get it over to that 90. We're about 15, 16 kilometers up now. We're going to be 20 kilometers up soon. This has been a good injection into orbit, I think. There we go. Looking good to me. Let's have a look at our maneuver node. 35, 36, 37 kilometers up. We're going to start running out of fuel on the first stage and we get ready for stage separation. Here we go. Stage separation any moment. There we go. Swap vessels and ignite engines. Throttle them up and bring us over. There we go. And we are currently at 38-ish kilometers up. We've got a slight bit of rotation there, which I will fix. There we go. Looking good so far. Now, we do need to blow this nose cone, so we'll do that now. What we'll do is we will temporarily cut the engines, do a slight turn to one side, and stage. Then we'll turn back again, and we won't ignite the engines until we know we're not going to crash into it. Where's it gone? Okay, we will power up the engines. Yeah, I can't see it. Oh, wait, there it is. There it is. It's far enough away. Full power. There it falls back down to the planet. We've made an orbit. We're going to do a parking orbit. Probably around 80 kilometers if I can. But we'll see. Like I said, this is the fuel variant of the TR10. So it's just got an extra bit of fuel on the top. And that is 75 kilometers. Let's go to map mode now. You can see that this is the second stage here, and the first stage has already started falling back down to the planet. Yeah, more fuel. So the idea of this is to just refuel the next rocket. That's the only reason we're putting this into orbit. So it's currently going in at... Maybe we can park it in at 100. Yeah, we'll park it at 100. So we're just pushing that out. Whoa! I overdid it on the stick. Steady. Okay, that will do us quite nicely. I need to press the trigger to open up the solar arrays and also the communications. Where is the communications? Oh, there it is on the bottom. Brilliant. Okay, so that's all good. Let's switch back to our booster. And our booster is just ballistic. We tell it to go in a prograde. No, wait, is it retrograde? No, prograde. We tell it to keep prograde. And it does a very poor job of this. But once it re-enters the atmosphere and lands, it should be alright. And KSP just means that, for some reason, just using chutes is just so much better than repulsive landings. So That's what we do with the TR10 booster stage. More fuel. Here we go. Here's the flip. So this flip now is where it's trying to keep itself nose first, but the engines are the heaviest part of the rocket, so that wants to be at the bottom. Looks like it's coming in quite nicely now. We need to turn SAS off, otherwise it goes into a spin. I have not been able to figure out why the booster of the TR10 goes into a tailspin. No idea at all. Right then, let's get ready to deploy those drogue chutes. We'll do that at about just under 2 kilometers, and then main chutes after that. So here we go. Let's get ready. Hopefully this thing should just park its bottom right above the surface of the water if this goes to plan. Okay, we're decelerating quite quickly, and okay, about 140 meters up. It's a little bit high for my liking. But hopefully we can get this stage recovered, go back to the second stage, get that in a parking orbit, send up the other thing. What's the other thing? Can't remember. Never mind. Send up the passenger variant. We'll connect the two together. We'll do a docking. That's right. Okie dokie. Let's see what we can do next. So if we go back to the tracking station, and we can find... Where's it gone? We got some sort of... Where is it? TR10 second stage. Oh, there it is. There's the second stage. I couldn't see it for looking. So we're going to put it into a parking orbit now. So it's going to do its second burn. So what we do now we have managed to get it into orbit, we can shut down these two less efficient engines and just use the most efficient engine out of the three. And we can just give it a prograde. Let's see. Just come along to there. Just walk forward just slightly. And at the moment it's a suborbital flight, but we'll just power up the engines and hopefully we'll have about half the fuel remaining. Oh, steady. We've made orbit, just circularizing that orbit a little bit. 102.94. I'm not going to cry about it, that's fine. We'll figure it out. Okay, so there we go. There's a TR10 second stage fuel with pretty much half fuel. Part 2 now. Okay, so let's go back to the Space Center and get the other half of this ship into the sky, because this is going to be the one that's going to go to Minmus to rescue our Minmus science team. Okay. So let's now build the passenger variant of the TR10. Get those in orbit. Get that in orbit, and then we're going to dock with the one we've just put up there. So booster load. Open the TR10 second stage. Merge. So up to now it's the same. Then open, don't save, and we're going to merge in the passenger module. Also spelt wrong in 3 different locations. There we go. So there's the passenger module. Now with the passenger module, don't need that bit on the bottom. We are going to need everything for this version, and I guess it's going to be a challenge to land. Do we want to put legs on this? I think we do. Because we're going to try and land this. We're going to try and land this on Minmus. I'm pretty sure we might be able to land this But, oh, they're wonky. There we go. I'm pretty sure we might be able to land it without the legs, but just having the legs makes it so much better. Okay, I think that's ready to roll. Yeah. Again, we just need to fix the staging a little bit. We have to pull that section out of there. And I think that's all good. Now, oh, did any Kerbals jump on board? I hope not. Because we don't want anybody on board for this. No, they didn't. Okay, cool. So again, full throttle, SAS on, fine controls on, check the staging. Staging looks good. Open up the fuel in the corner. And we are in the middle of the daytime. Maybe we should wait until the next one's coming round overhead. So there's the second stage over there. I think we're going to... Yeah, we are. We're going to time warp until that second stage is a little bit more further around its orbit. Kind of like there. Right, that might be good. Here we go then. 3, 2, 1, go. No! The full throttle didn't work. Well, we have managed to clear the launch pad. I have no idea how that didn't explode. We're starting our turn. That was I thought that was on full throttle. It turns out it was on no throttle. But we're going pretty good now. We're nearly at 200 meters per second. So we're going to throttle back to about 2/3. There we go. So far, so good. We're going belly first, I think. No game sound. Is it just quiet? I've turned it up. You should hear game sound. Right, we're going to start the pitch over now. We're 8 kilometers up. It's a little bit late to start the pitch. Oh, it was just a bit quiet. Okay, fair enough. So I'm being a little bit more aggressive this time because I was a little bit late with the pitch over. We need to try and get it in a relatively neat orbit. We can throttle back up now. And see how we do. Right. So that's 17 kilometers. We haven't got a massive amount of fuel left. So I think the couple of the mistakes I've made in this launch, we started moving over quite slow and I didn't throttle up quick enough, has cost us a little bit of efficiency there. But it looks like we are going to lob this thing up into orbit enough. So there we go. So we're going to throttle off, stage separate, switch to the second stage, activate the engines and throttle them up. We're going to bring us down into this sort of arrangement. We are still in atmosphere though, so I don't know if we might lose the second stage, the booster, sorry, if it goes more than 2 kilometers away from me. We may or may not. I don't know. We'll have to wait to see. But we're going to make space. That's not a problem. It's just a matter of getting a nice... There's our target, the second stage. So we're going to mate these 2 second stages together to perform a refueling process. And actually this is somewhat like what SpaceX are planning to do in the future, except I believe SpaceX are now planning a belly to belly rather than bum or nose to nose. Bottom to bottom or nose to nose. We're doing nose to nose today. Okay, so that is 94 kilometers there. We want to continue with that power, but I need to... No, steady. Nose down, just a touch. To try and keep us... Oh my goodness, that is quite a nose down to try and keep this... Oh, that'll do, that will do. We're overshooting now. Okay. So here is our passenger variant. So with our passenger variant, we want to open up the communications and the solar arrays. Brilliant. Okay. So before we let that meet up with this second stage, we need to watch our booster down. I feel like we do need to do a little bit of a burn just to try and correct this orbit, because it's not quite right. Okay, that will help. I mean, we're spinning a little bit now. So I don't know why we ended up spinning so much then. Not really sure. But we need to switch back to the booster soon so that we can control it. But what I've just done is turn the SAS off for a second, just so I can bring us into alignment there. There we go. Cool. Don't know why we lost control, but we've got control back. Let's quickly switch to the booster, which is probably flailing around all over the place. There we go. It's already doing its flip. Already doing its flip. Seems to be doing quite well. It's coming in a little bit flat. I don't know if this will be like the worst one. This is certainly the worst re-entry we've had. I think we'll still be. I think we'll be all right. We're going to be able to recover this almost certainly. He says. I'm being hopeful, aren't I? I'm just hoping that everything goes right today and we don't have any major issues. It looks a tad more unwieldy. What, in general? Okay, we're going to get ready for these shoots. So there's a kind of an extra stage you have to do with this booster. I don't know why. It's like a hidden stage. We're going to see if we can get this one closer to the surface. Last one stopped at about 140 meters. So let's see if we can get this one even closer. Oh, it's going to be close. That's about 70 meters. That was about 70 meters. 40-ish before it straightened out. But that is a nice, quick, easy recovery there. Well, there we go, folks. We now have a TR-10 second stage passenger variant in space, not far away from a fuel variant, which we will use to connect up together. So we've got these. In fact, look how close they are right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, I'm going to fly it, set the other one as the target, and bring them together somehow, I hope. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is just come into map mode, set the previous one as a target. Now we are still on a suborbital trajectory at the moment, but it looks like we've got a relatively close separation there. So I think what we might do is just gun for that. So if I let us burn like a prograde burn, right, let's see what happens. If I do this prograde burn, is it bringing these closer together? Not really. There is... Okay. Let's try doing maybe... let's see. We want to get our... It's very difficult to see this, actually. There's so many... Actually, let's turn off the... Can I turn off the network? There we go. We've turned off the comms network. We're actually above, so we want to go clockwise. So I'm going to try and switch to the anti-normal of orbit and see if we can kind of push those nodes a little bit closer together. Yep, that's good. That's looking much better. Descending node is minus 1.2. Okay, so yeah, that's getting worse now, so that's okay. Well, it looks like they're going to come round pretty close here, so we'll use that as kind of a starting point for their approach and docking. So look, we're only so far apart, however far that is apart. So now we need to kind of correct this to get an intersection. So we're going to need to prograde because we're on a suborbital flight at the minute. And we need to get the orbits similar. So we're going to have to do either radial in or radial out. I have no idea which one's which. I always forget. Yep, that's it. Whatever that is, that's the radial out. We're pushing our periapsis out and hopefully, yep, into space. We've got two intersects here. I think what we'll do is we'll try and fix this one. So we've got a 30-kilometer gap there at the moment. Why have we got the gap? Okay, let's... That's making it worse. Okay, we don't want to make it worse. We're just doing little burns. I mean, I could use a maneuver node, but where's the fun in that? Little tiny burns. We've got plenty of fuel for this. Look at this. Look at this. Here we go. So that's 11 kilometers. That's a 3-kilometer intersect there. I'm happy with that. Let's warp to that point and see what it is. Oh dear. Oh, I misclicked and I can no longer see the screen. You guys can, but I can't. So here we go. We are now coming together. There's going to be quite a bit of velocity difference between these two. But we're going to have about a 3-kilometer difference. So we're going to switch to targeting. And we're going to come in here and we're just putting ourselves retrograde to the target. Which I have... Oh, there it is down there. And it's currently about right. It's going to be about right. So let's start just nullifying the difference between our orbits. Ooh. There we go. Okay, so we've done that. Let's open our nose cone. I have no idea what the button is to do that, so I'm going to do it manually. There we go. Ready for docking. We can even put our lights on. Docking mode enabled. Okay, so we're going to try and now point ourselves at the target. And the idea is that we want to get our prograde marker dead over that target point. So let's give ourselves a tiny bit of fuel, tiny bit of burn. We're just trying to lead that over it. And look at that, it's spot on now. The problem is we're going quite slow and very far away. So I am going to try and give ourselves an extra bit of burn. Yeah, 25 meters per second will do the job. There we go. I do like this ship. It looks good. I think what we ought to do is actually drop the landing gear before I forget. Like, there's no reason that I can think of to not have the landing gear out in space. Get it out. Get it ready. Now, where are we? There we go. So the problem is we might actually be getting a little too close. I've never done it so that we're going to crash before. But here you go. We're about... I've just sped up the game a little bit. So now we're going to just keep ourselves... There we go. We're actually going the wrong way a little bit. But we are now close enough to be able to do the I will target you and you will target me trick. So what we're going to do is make sure we're controlling from there at the end. And we'll just go over to the other vessel. And we will do a control from here. And we'll turn on the lights. And we're going to turn it to face the other one. and we're going to target that crew hatch. So we're just going to face both vessels at each other, targeting each other's crew hatch. Now there is a bit of backwards and forwards here, because when you move one ship to put it on target, it actually misaligns the other one slightly, but it's with ever decreasing amounts. You can get them close enough so you can hardly use any monopropellant, because if you don't need to use monoprop, you shouldn't. There we go. Right, so one thing we're going to do now is we're going to try and bring our prograde marker right over that point. It's been a bit difficult at the moment. Hang on a second. I mean, I'm not using RCS on purpose. I don't want to use... Whoa! I don't want to use monopropellant if I don't need to. I don't want to go too fast either. So, let's see what we can do about that. 1 meter per second? Okay. We are almost certainly heading the right way. What we'll do is the final little bit, we will turn to the monopropellant. Yep, looks like we're doing okay actually here. I just hope we don't crash these two together too quickly and that they all explode. Because at this point, we don't want explosions. We want to bring our Kerbals back nicely. This looks like it's going to be okay. If we ran out of power, I hope we don't run out of power. Electrical charge is fine at the moment. We're doing this in the dark, on the dark side of the planet, which is like probably the worst place to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the fueling ship's RCS to do the final corrections. So if I remember correctly, we want to be shutting this engine down, and then I can use this joystick on the joystick just to make sure that our prograde is on target. And that we are oh my goodness, it's about to go. Yeah, it was too hard. It was too hard. Quick. We've got plenty of monopropellant on this one. We need to come in slower than that. Oh, yeah. 0.5 meters per second. There we go. I'm just watching the nav ball. You guys can watch this. The angle's not great. But I feel like if I turn the RCS off and the SAS off, these two will mate together quite nicely. Yeah? Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay, so we was just a little bit fast. Are your solars activated? What, the solar panels? Yeah, all the solar panels are out, Brandon. Don't you worry about that. Right, let's get our SAS back on. So we need to transfer the fuel over now, and I'm going to wait until we're in the light to do this, so I can see what I'm doing a bit better. There we go. So we will take all the fuel out of this one. There we go. And we will take nearly all the fuel out of this one. We want just enough fuel in there to be able to deorbit and bring that back. That should do it. 236 is probably way too much, actually. I bet I could deorbit with 100. There we go. I reckon that'll do it. And I've got some monopropellant as well. So there we go. We have refueled the passenger variant. It's nearly completely full of fuel. So we will undock. And we will enable docking mode and RCS. And we will back off. There we go. And we'll get ready to deorbit. Now, where do we do this? There's the space center. I think if we just warp forward a little bit, we should have enough fuel to deorbit this. Let's enable the primary engines. Alright, let's just double check we've got the right one. Yep, this is the fuel variant. That's fine. And I'm just going to warp a little bit further down. And then we're just going to do a retrograde burn to change our parking orbit into a suborbital flight. Just using the drone controls there. And we want our periapsis to be down to 0. So we got way too much fuel for that. We only needed a tiny slither of fuel. Done. We are done. We're coming in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn the craft around. Get it set to its radial out position. I love the way that this ship re-enters the atmosphere. This is the one that we probably should have took to Eve because it might have actually survived. The radiators are already running. That's good. Electrical charge is fine. We've even got a small bit of monopropellant. So if we become unstable, I'll just turn the RCS on. Which button's that? Okay, so it's the button at the back here. We need to get ready to fold in the solar arrays, though. And we usually do that at about... we're going to overshoot the space center. So we're going to hopefully land in the sea near the space center. But we'll see how it goes. So we're going to do a ×3 time warp. Hopefully bring this back and recover it very close to the space center. As soon as we get any sort of atmospheric heating, we'll bring in the solar array. This is actually good practice for bringing in manned missions. It is. So we're just time warping now. I think we're just about to start to see some heating. There's the space center. We're about to fly over it. I could potentially do a small boost back burn, but I'm not going to. There we go. There's the heating. So let's bring in those solar arrays and the antenna. We do that at one of the last possible minutes to make sure that we've got full electrical charge on our ship as long as possible. Okay, so it looks like we're quite well balanced at the moment. We're not overheating. And the flaps are doing their job. Down there is the space center, where we launched from a few orbits ago. We are getting a little bit of overheating in a couple of places, but it looks completely manageable. This is, I tell you what, the fuel variant, this one, is even more stable than the passenger variant. For some reason, just like where the wings are and like having this mass on top of this extra fuel tank just keeps things nice and stable. Well, we do actually have a drogue chute on this, but we probably won't use it. Radiators are running okay. See, I think if I didn't have those radiators on, I don't think these temperatures would be stable. And I think they would creep up, because in some earlier tests they did. In some early tests of this vehicle, there was some explosions. There we go. So we're going to land not far off the coast, about 80 to 90 kilometers, I think. That's not too bad. We're going to get a good recovery costs on that. Oh, we've got the moon in the background as well as it comes in. It is weird how, like, just a tube like this can be relatively stable. I think the time that it doesn't get stable is when the speed drops below about 400. Then there's not enough air resistance going through this thing to keep it stable. But it is belly flopping quite nicely at the moment. It looks like it's just about to lose it. It's not far off, actually. It's doing rather well this time. We've got 14 kilometers down and it's been as graceful as... here we go. This is where it gets a bit off. It gets a bit off at this point here. So it's when the front goes down. There we go. Let's just turn the SAS off because at this point it's just not doing anything. Turn it back on again. Yeah, it's just tumbling now. It's a shame that we never really got this one to fall perfectly by itself. I mean, look at that. Without the SAS on, it actually flows quite nicely for the most part. Oh, it actually self-stabilizes. I did not know that. Interesting. Look at that. It self-stabilizes and comes in bum first. And it's coming in so slow. We might have enough fuel for a repulsive landing. Shout out in chat if you want me to try it. It's not going to work. You've only got a few kilometers to decide, chat. Remember, this is unmanned. We are quite away from the coast. I'm not sure. It would probably explode. I don't know. We're falling at about 80 meters per second. And I don't know how much delta V we have, but we have about 120 fuel on board. So what we need to do is when the bum's pointing down, we enable SAS. Tell it to retrograde. I'll get ready with the chutes and we'll give it a go. Here we go. It will do some spiralling, but all that does is slow it down. Get ready for engine relight. Oh, we're not pointing the right way. We're not pointing the right chutes. Brandon was wrong. It didn't explode. It sploshed. A very big splosh. Okay. That's not the important bit anyway. That's not the important bit. The important bit is we have a spaceship in orbit ready to go to Minmus. We have a spaceship at Kerbin ready to bring back somebody there. So where is our spaceship? Here it is. So we now need to get this to Minmus, land it, and bring them back home. Now the only problem is that this is super heavy now. I guess we could just leave the lid off for now, but I don't like the way that looks. We'll put it back on. I love the way that happens. It's one of my favourite things about the TR10. It's just this appendage here which just closes off. Okay, right, Minmus, where is it? Minmus is over here, which is actually not a bad point in the orbit to give this a go, and we are almost at the point which I would try it. So we've got to warp forward like 15 minutes. We'll turn the SAS system on. We'll pop ourselves in a prograde approach. Make sure we are nice and level just because. And full throttle. Oh, hang on, we've got all the engines on. We don't want all the engines on. Shut down that engine and shut down that engine. There we go. So we're pushing our orbit out. Hopefully we're going to get an intercept with Minmus and we'll be able to land and get our Kerbals. We've been to Minmus a few times now. It's just nice. I just thought it'd be a really good way to end the regular episodes, just to bring everybody home, because they don't need to be out there anyway. Probably a little bit late on the burn, but never mind. We can do a course correction on the way, and it doesn't matter which way we're going round Minmus when we arrive, because we're not going to be docking with the space station or anything. So this is where most of our fuel gets used up. Changing ourselves from an orbit around Kerbin to an orbit which is going to intercept Minmus. But also the lighter we become, the more that fuel is going to do for us. And also on the way back we'll be using aerobraking into the atmosphere. This is not a great transfer orbit to Minmus. It's a bit wonky. I just hope we don't hit the moon along the way. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit down. So what we're going to do is we're going to set Minmus as the target. And then we're going to warp part way and adjust our trajectory. So I'm not sure exactly which way we're going to adjust our trajectory. So we are actually going to use a maneuver node. And you can see here kind of like the intersect is quite far apart. So if we do this, it brings it closer together. And if we do that, it brings it closer together. And we get a good enough intersect there. And it's only going to be about 48 meters per second of delta V. Brilliant. Okay. So what we'll do is we will turn ourselves to that point in time. Again, for some reason, KSP is unable to calculate the delta V of our TR-10 rocket. I have no idea why. So we're just using this meter change now. And we're getting close. There we go. We have our fly past. Let's get rid of the maneuver node and I guess warp to that location. So as we come round the highest point of our orbit round Kerbin at 48 million meters, we kind of slow down because we're kind of slowing down away from Kerbin and then accelerating back towards it, which gives Minmus enough chance to catch us up, and we end up going past its sphere of influence, which we will go retrograde to and use up even more fuel. Here we go. So we're going to circularize our orbit so that we're not going to have a Minmus escape, which should happen quite soon. Remember, you need less fuel to get back from Minmus as you do to get there. Our periapsis is down to 30 will do, I think. There we go. It's quite a highly eccentric orbit. It's got a real wobble on. Look at that. We're coming in from a really strange angle. But fuel is looking good. Well, no, it didn't explode. It sploshed down, didn't it, Brandon? So now we're just going to bring this one down so it's about 30 as well. That'll do. And now we need to figure out how we're going to land this. So which way round are we going? We are going that way round. Okay, whoa, steady. Oh, this orbit looks like it would be good. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp to the bottom of the orbit, and then what we want to do is... Huh? Why is it going round and round and round like several times? The sun's over there actually, so we probably want to wait until we're doing this in the sun. So there we go. We've got a sunrise. I want to warp to here now. Or somewhere roughly around that point. One more orbit, I think. Yeah, one more orbit. Here we go. We're going round one more time. And what we're trying to do is get us so we're going to land at this site here. Which we're going to need to twist the orbit for a little bit. So we're looking at this. Let's try the normal. I don't know whether it's going to work or not, but let's see. Yep, that's correct. So I think that's going to be pretty close. And that has twisted our orbit, so we should be flying almost perfectly over the base, I think. And then we also need to do a retrograde burn so that we are not flying ridiculously high. So here we go for that one. There we go. We've now got a suborbital flight over our base. Just need to make sure we don't crash into this mountain on the way. Right then, let's see if we can land this thing. I don't think we've ever successfully landed... Oh my goodness. This looks like it's not very high up. And it's coming in at quite the angle. I suppose we could... We don't have to land right next to the base. Like, it just needs to be land in the rough vicinity. So let's see what our... Yeah, we're coming in a little bit behind the base. So I'm wondering if we can do like this sideways burn. That's the wrong way. I can see that from here. We need to hurry up though, because we're running out of time. Here we go. There we go. That's going to send us more or less towards the base. What I really hope is we don't land on it, because landing on the base would be very, very bad. Now, with this engine, we can do quick changes to delta V, especially in this sort of level of gravity. So I don't think we need to really worry about that. Going to switch to surface speed. We're 5 kilometers up. I don't think we need to really worry about it until we're like 1 kilometer up or something like that. We're still going sideways quite a lot. I kind of want to go downwards. I mean, we are going downwards as well, but I might just downwards. So in theory, I should be able to just guide this down now with just the throttle. So let's start doing that. Otherwise, we're going to overshoot the base, which is round here. There we go. That's not far off, actually. And we're still 1.2 kilometers up. So this is all looking very good. We're coming in quite slow at the moment, so I'm just going to let it fall. Until we get to maybe about 400 meters. I might try and start adjusting some of the velocity. There's rubbish lying around all over here for where we accidentally exploded that TR-10 lab delivery module. Right, we're at 800 up. We're falling at 20. That's a little bit fast for my liking. So I am going to turn the engines on. 700. You know what? This isn't too bad. We're about 1 kilometer away from the base, so that's easy an RCS jaunt. 500. Looking good. We're not coming in very flat yet. We're still coming a little bit sideways, a little bit angled, but I think we'll be alright. 200. Yep, we're starting to get really close now. We're coming in at 10 meters per second. That is a bit fast, but I'll just put a little bit of throttle on before we land. Okay, bit more throttle on. Here we go. Reducing. Landing's coming in. And there is a pretty good landing. I'm very happy with that. Cool, that's good. Okay, so we need to get them in this crew hatch. Worst case scenario, we might actually knock the antenna off by falling down. So I'm going to retract the antenna for now. Okay, we didn't even use any RCS to get that leveled out. Right then, where is the lab? Did I quick save in case something randomly explodes for no reason? Okay, so that's the rover, that's some wreckage, that's the lab. There's the... Oh my goodness, the rocket looks like it's leaning pretty badly from over here. But I think that's just the curvature of the planet. Right, Jesse, EVA, your job as the engineer on this mission has been done and finished. You can now go to your ship to go home. Can I do this? Can I don't think I... No, I can't use the joystick for EVAs. I didn't think I could, but I thought I'd give it a try. Also, it's just less than a kilometre, 900 and something. I'm hoping that they're able to get in this rocket, no problem. Fingers crossed. Just taking it nice and steady now. Last thing we want to do is get this rocket all the way here and then crash a Kerbal into it and knock it over. We got plenty of monopropellant for this guy. Here we go. It is leaning a little bit. Wouldn't be a hellish rocket if it wasn't leaning a little bit, would it? Right, what's the grab key? F, isn't it? Getting ready. Let's put lights on. Our lights don't seem to be doing much. Here we go. Grab and board. Brilliant. There is one. And if we go and get Brandon, you can EVA now. We will leave the lab behind. There we go. Where's it gone? There it is, over that way. Go, Brandon! A soundbite from a clip. What clip? Have you guys been clipping me where I've not been paying attention? Have the moderators been doing their job? Right, Brandon's going at 30 meters per second across the surface here. He's travelling some. Really travelling some. And Brandon's almost going to make orbit with his RCS. Right, here we go. Hopefully we don't shoot past it too much. Nope, that's alright actually. Right, let's get really close. Try not to knock... I don't think we'd knock it over. I mean, it's half full of fuel. Oh, I need to get ready to press F. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so now the best way to leave Minmus is with a anti-clockwise direction. So we need to take off that way, which we will do in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to have a quick break, grab a drink, because, well, I forgot before the live stream. And I will see you all very soon, where we will get Wizard Brandon and Jessie Kaboom in orbit of Kerbin. Then we will get our other scientists from the moon to join them, and we will bring everybody, hopefully, safely back to the surface. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. I think it's gone out of tune again. See? It's been... Oh, well, see? That's the C chord. I like to normally do a plectrum, but that would be too loud for tonight with people asleep. See, I told you. There's some chords that I struggle with, even especially over this time. How are your fingertips? Not great. Not great. You can already probably just see string marks on my fingertips. Ooh. I don't know why those parachutes were doing that. Okay, I think we kind of lost some money there. I don't know how much that plane was, but here we go. That didn't go great. Right, we'll release the animals and pop smoke. Then we'll get all of these guys to line up behind the pillars. Oh, the dogs! The dogs! No! Animals, come back! Stop grenading people! This is not working! This is not working. Right. Oh my goodness, we're there now. Oh, that didn't work. Firing all shoots. Okay. Oh, we broke us. Well, folks, I'm back, all sorted, and we are ready to get Brandon and Jessie where we need them to go. So, because these the gravity on Minmus is very low, I am just going to pop them up in the air, work out which direction they're orientated. I think they're slightly twisted, but also I just need to pull back. So, let's find out. So, gently lift off, de-twist, and then yep, there we go. That is the right way. So we don't want to go too high. We are just burning gently at the moment. Now we don't need this landing gear anymore, so let's bring that in. And let's get ourselves up to at least 25 kilometers. There we go. So if you have a look there, we're coming up above the space station. And we're going to warp to the highest point when we get out of the lower sections. There we go. Goodbye, Minmus Base. We may see you again one day. We may not. Okay, so now we just want to prograde out of this. So, there we go. Full throttle now. We'll just keep full throttling, and our orbit breaks Minmus. And, oh, need to keep an eye on this. And then comes the periapsis, gets close to Kerbin. I think we're travelling that way round. In which case, we probably don't want to push it out that much. I think I pushed it a little bit too far. We're gonna bring it back just a little, and then we'll do an adjustment all the way in. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, so here we go. So we're going to come round to the periapsis first. And I think we've got enough fuel to try and just bring that, like, the peak of our orbit down. We've got loads of fuel. You got to remember, though, this is the TR-10 second stage. It has a massive fuel tank. So just like a slither of fuel down here is actually 1,000 measures of oxidizer in there. Yep, in space without exploding. And the two people are on board. So you can see that we can bring that down. We'll probably actually ought to bring it so that we're not going to intersect with the moon. And it looks like we're going to have plenty of liquid fuel to push this all the way down to Kerbin. So we'll do that. Because it's more efficient time-wise. There we go. So... we are... oh, do we dip this in the atmosphere or do we wait? Let's park it at about 100k. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring the other side all the way down with the fuel that we've got, but we'll give it a go. There we go. So we don't really want our periapsis to dip too much, but I think we'll be fine. So the thing is that the more you burn, the less it comes in. I don't think we're going to be able to bring all of this. I'm zooming in now so we can look closer. I'm going to keep a few units of fuel to spare. Just so that we can use aerobraking if we need to. But this is actually really good. For a round trip to Minmus, we've done a good job. Almost managed to make that even. I'll just use the last little bit. Leave ourselves at least 100 units. Okay, so there we go. We've got a 76 and a 213 orbit around the planet. That will do for now. Let's switch to the Kerbin space station. And what we need to do is we need to get network 17 to transfer to the command pod over here. But that didn't happen. Transfer crew. Network 17. There we go. Network 17 has traversed the insides and is now in this ship, which I know... oh, it's full of fuel. That's got plenty of fuel. Okay. Let's undock. And here we go, Network 17. We need to extend the solar array before it runs out of power. Now, I don't know what probe this has got on it, so let's have a look inside. Okay, it's going to be able to get us back. And we are going to use the RCS in docking mode, just to back us away from the space station. And we'll just turn around. Whoa, not that much. And we'll just leave the space station behind a little. There we go. So now we can reduce this guy's orbit. So if we just put ourselves facing retrograde. And, oh, we need to turn the engine on. Always turn your engines off when you dock to a space station. Periapsis down to 71. Just get it out the way of the space station. So we're just going to get everybody orbiting around Kerbin, which will be fun. There we go. Ooh, I overdid it. Oops. There we go. Okay. So now that is 2 spacecraft orbiting Kerbin. Let's go and try and get the others. So to do them, they're all on the moon. So if we focus on the moon, where's the space station? There's the space station. What we need to do is go and land with the lunar lander and bring these guys back. So we're going to have to fill this thing with fuel. So that tank is quite full of fuel. I will just top it up. And there's a secondary tank here, which I will top up with fuel. And once that's topped up, we'll send it down to pick up the 2 Kerbals that are on the surface. There's almost certainly plenty of fuel. This is the Mark II lunar lander. The Mark I wasn't as good. Its Delta V was terrible in comparison to this one. Okay, let's disconnect, undock, and we may as well get the legs out. And I'm going to just... is the engine on? The engine isn't on, so just a quick little burst of RCS backwards. We haven't got much monopropellant on this, but we don't really need much. Activate the engine and turn RCS off. Right, now we need to try and land, which is a good time to do it because we are just about to approach that part and the sun is in a good position. Nice. So I think we're going to do a very quick normal burn, which will raise the angle of our orbit, the inclination of our orbit. And we're doing that so that we go over the landing site. There we go. And then we're going to do a retrograde burn to pull our periapsis down and give us a suborbital trajectory. There we go. That should do it, I think. Right, let's fast forward and see how close to landing we can do. Well, there's the base. Looks like we're going to be coming over slightly to the left of it. So we could do a little bit more of a burn, just a touch. There we go. And hopefully this doesn't end in an explosion as well. Hopefully we just don't get any explosions today. That would be lovely, really, wouldn't it? Right, so this engine isn't as powerful as the one on the others. It's more efficient as the previous one. So the Mark I Moonlander wasn't as good with Delta V, and it had a much less but much more powerful engine. Now we haven't really got that. So we have to be a little bit more careful and bleed off a bit more speed earlier on. See, look, we're full power now. We're just trying to bleed off some speed as we go over the base. And you can see that's pulling us in. We're probably going to land just a couple of kilometers back, I think. Probably here or there. It doesn't matter if we're a couple of kilometers away. The engine's getting warm. Our surface speed is improving. This is what I was saying about it being a long burn compared to the other engines. The other engines on the other one, you'd have had it stopped ages ago. You get to a certain point and you're not really taking any sideways motion away. You're just fighting the gravity. You want to spend as little time as possible fighting the gravity. Right, I don't want to land on this ridge. We're aiming for the center here. We're aiming for the center of this. Or at least close to the center of this crater. Here we go then. 2 kilometers to go. We're coming in quite fast. Full throttle now. 400 meters to go. 3. We don't want to overcook that. We still want to be coming downwards. If we start going upwards, that's very bad. 200 meters. 1 something. 80. 70. 60. 50-ish. We started doing a little bit too much there. Okay, cool. Good landing. Good landing. Now, the only problem is we are 10 kilometers away? Wow. That's not good. Do I do a hop? Yep, we're going to do a hop, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a hop to try and get closer. So before we go up, yep, that's the direction we want to go in. So I can actually spin it round slightly. Spin it round. So that's the torque from the reaction wheels with the low gravity of the moon's surface. So we're just pointing it in exactly the right direction. Okay, we're going to do a lunar hop. So here we go. We're a little bit off course. And then what we can do is kind of just like try and find a new landing zone. We've got plenty of fuel at the moment. Looking at this, because there's no atmosphere, you could get a good idea about where you'd land. I feel like we need to do more than this. Like, we can do better. We can get into one of those craters or something. We've still got plenty of fuel. Yeah, we're going to get into this crater, I think. We've still got plenty of fuel, but we do also need to decelerate. Maybe we'll try the next crater. Yep, next crater. Well, we're heading in the right direction, folks. The only problem is that stopping this is going to be a bit of a pain, and landing nicely is going to be a bit of a pain. Yeah, I think I'm happy with about just under 5 kilometers. So retrograde and quickly now. This should be okay. It's going to be a little bit close. There we go. That's all right. We've still got just over half fuel, so we know we're going to get back up to the space station. So here we go. We're going for a second good landing. Yep, looking good. Bit of a boost. Oh, I'm getting a little bit good at this, aren't I? Just a little bit. There we go, folks. Wow. So we can pick up our engineer and our scientist from here. So we just need to save the game, of course. Quick saving is always a good idea when on the surface of a moon, especially Minmus. It's a brilliant idea on Minmus. So we're going to get real fella to EVA. And we're going to let go, turn on your RCS, land on your head, and find out where our lander is. Where is the lander? Is that it over there? Yep, Moonlander 2. So, up we go. We need to be careful about this. We've got 3.7 kilometers to make. I don't want to have to walk a load of it. So I think what we'll do is we'll accelerate for about a kilometre. When it says 2.7, we'll stop accelerating. There we go. We'll keep our Kerbal up in the air with boosting upwards. And when it's about 1 kilometre away, we will start decelerating. Or just under 1 kilometre, I think. Sorry, just over 1 kilometre. So now, start decelerating. Keep decelerating. There we go. Oh, with plenty of fuel. Just hope we don't crash into the surface. There we go. Brilliant. We might even be able to get right on the hatch. Now this is more difficult than Minmus, because on Minmus the gravity is even lower, so they have a tendency just to want to almost hover in the air. But with this one, you are having to really hammer that digital throttle. But there we go. 1 done. And then we need to now switch to and go and get the other one. And we're nearly ready to actually bring the final people back. Exciting times. Almost exactly 50% fuel. Well, what you got to remember is that you need less fuel to get back than to get there because you're lighter. So we should be fine, even though we did that extra burn. So let go, RCS, and nope, fall over. Right then, where is it? It's over there. Okay. So the technique of just completely and utterly holding down forward for a kilometre, cruising, and then holding backwards for a kilometre worked very nicely last time. So we will do that again this time. I'm not even going to look at the fuel. I'm not even going to look at the screen. No, I will look at the screen, otherwise we could end up killing Nudger. We don't want that to happen. Yeah. Hey Astrin, welcome to the stream. I'm going to read your message in a minute because I need to watch when I need to decelerate. Decelerate now. Remember, you need fuel to shift that fuel. That is right. That's exactly the problem. You need fuel to shift the fuel. So we're a little way out. I did decelerate a little bit too much, but we're okay. Just bringing ourselves down. Not too quickly, I hope. Nudger's had a good stay on the moon. I don't think Nudger... I don't even think I intended Nudger to actually stay on the moon. I think I actually intended Nudger just to visit. Add more fuel. Well, you can add more fuel, but then you have a heavier ship, so you need more fuel to move it. It's a delicate balance, Brandon. It is a very delicate balance. Speaking of delicate balances, here we go. We're going to have a balance here. We'll start a game giveaway in a little while. But I need to get onto this and get them back to the space station. There we go. So yeah, we are almost exactly half fuel. So we need to make sure that we don't have to mess around too much. So which way around is the space station? I think the space station... Yeah, it goes that way around. So we need to wait until it's here. And then we need to turn away from the sun. So follow the galactic line, which is this bit here, but that's the sun. So we need to go that way. Okay, and to make sure we go the right way, we're just gonna wing it. We're just gonna wing it. SAS is on, throttle up. Okay, so let's make this face that way. Whoa, steady. Okay. So we need to rotate this. And then pull it that way. Here we go. I think that's right. So we're going to throttle until we get high enough. I can't remember what height the space station orbits at. I think it's 20 or 25. So we'll have a quick look at that soon. Let's see, we're at 23 now. Where's the space station? 39? Ooh, we've got a little way to go yet. So it's actually 40 that it orbits at. 31, 32, 33, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's 39, so that will do. We'll fast forward to this point of the orbit. It's a suborbital orbit at the moment. We don't need those landing legs out. They can come back in. And we will do a prograde burn to try and match the space station. Hopefully we'll have enough fuel for everything. Brandon says, is there a critical mass point where it would take more fuel than you have to move the fuel than you need with the fuel? It depends on your engines, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it depends on the engines. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the space station as a target and see if we can get this in one. I don't think we will, but we'll see. Well, we're a bit high and wonky, which is sort of fine. So yeah, but we're going to have to do a little bit of adjustments. So we're going to have to do a little bit of a burn around the descending node to even that out. So let's warp to that point. We are quite close, so we shouldn't need to do too much to get in the same alignment. Okay, I think we went overboard with that correction, so I will just quickly undo a little bit of it. Yep, there we go. So now we've got this kind of intersect here that if I either prograde or retrograde out, we can either improve or make worse. So that is a 31. Oh, that made it worse. So we need to do a retrograde burn. Oh, This is going to get really close, I think. Is that it? Is that as close as I can get there? Okay, let's warp to that point and see what other corrections we can make. Is there a critical mass point where they would take more fuel than you have to move the fuel that is needed? Okay, so that depends on the thrust of your engines. But yes. Because moving fuel is not all about... Yeah, that's when the thrust to weight ratio is less than 1. So you have so much mass that the engine just can't push it, because an engine has only so much thrust it can use. There's only so much fuel per second it can use. So yeah. What's our separation? Too far. Okay, if we go to here, what sort of separation are we looking at? Ooh, that's looking good. 5, 6... Oh, no. So it looks like the closest we're going to get is about 4 kilometers. Oh, no, actually. No, this is good. If I keep burning this way, there is... Oh, wow, that's 700 meters. I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. So there's always a maximum range for something. I mean, yeah, it depends on... I think it depends on your engines. Like... Because it's not just the amount of fuel that you bring. It's the quantity and efficiency and throughput of your engines as well. It's a balancing act. It's a balancing act. Like, there's the space station. We need to just... well, we actually... I think we're getting closer. We are currently getting closer, so I'm going to let it go for a little bit. There we go. Okay. So we're just nulling out any sort of relative velocity. And then we'll just point ourselves at the space station and throttle towards it. There are some really clever ways you can get these things to rendezvous even better than what I'm doing. But to be honest, this is the easiest way I know how. Oh, cool. Right, I need to stick. Yeah, we're coming in about 5 meters per second. In space, you don't need fuel to keep your speed. No, you only need to use fuel to change your velocity. So either your direction or the magnitude of that direction. Yeah, so the thing is, though, it's also in space. It's orbits. You're orbiting something. You're always going to be orbiting something. So, like, how far you go, that it might be relative, because you might decide that going round and around and around and avoiding gravity. You can't avoid gravity. You can use it to help you. You can get kicks and assists from planets. I mean, that's how the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft work. I can't remember exactly what they did, but they did something along the lines of using, I think, maybe Jupiter as a kick to fling themselves out a little bit further. There is a fantastic YouTube video where somebody uses like a trampoline of Lycra and some heavy masses to show you how gravity works and how the kick works from the gravity. It's a little bit like a slingshot, but I wouldn't use that word, because it's probably... I think we're actually on a collision course. For potentially the first time in the series, I think we're on an immediate collision course. Now, we're going to be disconnecting this anyway, so I'm not going to dog it. Yeah, I think if I'd have... Yeah. We would have hit the space station if I didn't slow down. So there we go. I can't work out if we're traveling 0.1 meters per second towards it or away from it. I think we're traveling away from it. So let me try and just... There we go. What we need to do is Real Fella and Nudger to get into that other ship. So let's do that now. They can't exit. What? Oh, we're going to have to dock up and do a transfer. Okay, never mind. Let's dock up over here. Set as target. Control from here. Right. Let's get ourselves moving towards the target. Okay, that should do that. Now, we haven't got much monopropellant on this, so we're going to have to be careful here. Docking mode with RCS not on yet. Actually, we're pretty much bang on, I think. Whoop, that was inside one of the ships. We're not far off. We are coming in quite quick, I think. Don't think we're going to smash anything. Yeah, that's almost smack on. We'll turn off the RCS, turn off the SAS. Wow, I think that is got to be one of the best rendezvous I've ever done. We came in, we were smack on target, we'd have crashed into the space station if we didn't slow down, and then just straight on the node. Straight on that node. Okay, so we're going to now transfer the crew. We're going to transfer Real Fella into here. Then we're going to go back, transfer crew, transfer Nudger into there. That's ready to depart. And then what we're going to do is we're going to transfer J-Bay into here, undock, and oh, hang on. This one needs fuel in it. Yeah, let's put some fuel in that first. I mean, I don't know how much fuel we're going to need, but that's probably enough. Let's put a bit more in. There we go. I'd rather have too much fuel than not enough. Then we're going to just check, is the antenna out? Yes. Here we go. So we're going to undock here. So now we've got J-Bay in this craft. And we're going to connect it to this fuel stage for the TR-10. And we're going to try and bring it home like this. I really think this is probably a bad idea, but never mind. J-Bay's probably got the rough time here. So let's just turn this TR-10 second stage. Set that as a target. Control from here. Turn the SAS on. Control from here. Okay. Just make sure these engines are off. Of course they're off. These are so close to these ships. Is it a good idea to be messing around with these ships so close to each other? Says target. I think they're just going to go towards each other now. Okay, RCS, docking mode, little push. We had a little bump. No, we're going to break the solar panel. Oh, no, we're not. Okay. Oh, the engine's on. That's what went wrong. I wondered what was going on there. Okay. We're going to be alright, I think. There we go. So we're going to use the Moonlander. I don't think you pronounce the S in rendezvous. Rendezvous. Yeah, sometimes. Did I say rendezvous? Rendezvous. Don't I normally say rendezvous? Did I say rendezvous? Okay, so there's J-Bay. We've got our ship. For some reason, it's trying to do weird stuff with the SAS. We're going to do a control from here. There we go. And the space station is currently spinning wildly, but we're going to try and get this back to Kerbin. So the best time to go back to Kerbin is here. We'll get the SAS on. We'll turn that engine on as well. I can't do it while we're warping, but just bear with me a second. So activate engine, turn the SAS on, set ourselves prograde, and get ready for J-Bay to come back on the end of a refueling ship. Why this is a good idea, I have no idea. I just realised that we should probably keep the weight in the bottom of this. So any remaining fuel from the lander we should take out. There we go. Right, full throttle. So we're extending our orbit around the moon, making it more and more elliptical until we have a lunar escape. There's our lunar escape, and if we keep throttling, our periapsis comes down, wraps around Kerbin, and we can get ourselves ready for a parking orbit. Put ourselves about 100k above the planet. And then we can fast forward. Now it looks like we've actually got an accidental moon encounter. But I'm sure it'll be okay. And we're going to use some of our fuel to bring that down. So our periapsis is fine. There we go. Plenty of fuel. It's a good thing that these ships are brilliant at aerobraking. I just have no idea how this ship is going to fare with the lander thing on the top. No idea at all. It just seems like a terribly bad idea all round. But what we can do is we could connect the two passenger ones together. I don't know what you think about that, folks. Or whether I should bring them in separately. What do you think? Because if anybody dies, it won't be my fault. I will not be the one held responsible for those deaths. Right, we're getting close to running low on fuel, but that is another parking orbit. It's getting busy. It's getting really busy around Kerbin now. So now the only thing we've got left is, I'm trying to click on the space station, but I don't. Oh, there we go. Separate. Nashorn says separate. Interesting. There we go. Right, so now we've got Real Fella and Nudger in the actual transport ship, which we can just check fuel of. Good job, I checked the fuel there. Let's fill her up, or at least put a load in. And we'll leave a little bit of fuel at the space station just in case. There we go. Right. Let's undock. Switch to their vessel. Just check the engines. Yep, all the engines are off. RCS, how much monopropellant have we got? Plenty of monopropellant. Okay, we'll use monopropellant to move ourselves backwards then. Oh, I love that. Just took a screenshot. That's fantastic. That's probably one of my memories there. It's like probably one of the best space stations I've ever built, with one of the most efficient rockets I've ever built, with the nose closing ready to depart. That is brilliant. Love it. I mean, it's probably not the best thing that somebody's done in Kerbal Space Program, but it's the best thing that I've done on Kerbal Space Program. So it kind of means something, you know? So, I think Nudger's at a little bit of risk. Oh! Actually, we don't have to bring Nudger down in that, because there's 2 seats on the other craft. Okay, folks, I'm going to let you guys decide, right? So we have a TR-10 second stage from Minmus with 2 passengers on. We've got a second TR-10 second stage with 2 passengers on from the moon. We've got a little lander rocket thing from the Kerbin space station with 1 Kerbal on, and then we've got the Abomination. We've got a TR-10 second stage fuel variant with the lunar lander stuck to the top to try and bring the last Kerbal home. Do you think we should bring him home on the moon lander, or do you think we should bring him home on the little return vessel? Let me know what you think in the chat. Whilst we're deciding that, we are nearly in the position now where we can try and get away from the moon. Right, where's the... Have we broke a solar panel? Yes, okay, somehow I broke a solar panel at some point. Why not the Abomination? Because it might break. Never mind. I think we'll be alright. I mean, yeah. Get the knot on the lander. What? Sorry, I'm not quite following you there. Okay. Yep. Let's prograde this. Let's turn the engine on. Oh, we throttled this engine, didn't we? Thrust limiter. Turn the thrust limiter up to max power. So this one's exactly the same, except it's not the fuel variant, it's the passenger variant. Expand the orbit beyond the moon, lunar escape, and then we bring our periapsis down enough to get close enough to Kerbin so that if we run low on fuel, we'll be fine. But we've got loads of fuel. We'll park it in orbit just about there. And then we'll warp to it. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's not like it's rocket science or anything like that, eh? Okay, so now Real Fella and Nudger are... This will probably work. This will probably work, yeah. They're orbiting Kerbin, as is everybody else. There are so many rockets around here at the moment. Moonlander 2 and Eagle 1 are actually relatively close to each other. I need to keep an eye on this fuel. Also, I need to warp round to the periapsis to burn this a little bit more. Get him home, not in the lunar lander. Okay. Alright then. It looks like they're quite close to each other. The Eagle 1 transport and the Moonlander are actually very near each other. Just checking fuel and cool. Wow, this has gone so well. Okay, let's get the Eagle 1 transport. We'll still bring the TR-10 fuel variant with the lunar lander on top back down to the planet. It's coming down, but I think we should move the passenger over.
Fantastic.
Fantastic indeed. Oh, we've got a raid. Hello. Welcome, distinguished guests. Welcome, welcome. I forget about raids sometimes because, you know, it doesn't happen too often, but welcome. So for those of you who are just joining us, we are bringing everybody back home after unlocking all of the science in our survival series. And we now have a capsule here with Network 17 in, one of our Viewer Plus subscribers. And we need to try and get it close to this moonlander so that we can transfer some crew. So I'm going to set it as a target and just see what it looks like. Ooh, right, okay, it's not good. It's not good. Okay. And we've got loads of fuel though, so let's... We're going to have to do this manually as well, which I don't always like to do. I've got RCS turned on, which I didn't mean to have. Let's get somewhere over here and we'll see if we can arrest their inclinations. So, what is it at the minute? 4, 2, 3. That's making it worse. We want the anti-normal. Anti-normal. Here we go. Here we go. The good thing about this craft is it turns round like you wouldn't believe. There we go. There we go. Fuel is looking good. Ah, look, we're starting to get intersects now. Just need to keep an eye on that node because I'm having to do this one manually because the probe on this ship, it's an old ship. This is one of the first ones we used to get some of our Kerbals up to the space station. Right, we've got a separation here. And it is 21 kilometers. That's miles. Absolute miles. Oh no. Somebody said it was going well. It's going well so far. Let's say so far. I think if I do a little retrograde burn, it's probably going to bring this intersection closer together. So let's see if that's the case. Yeah. Oh, it's skipped. Or we've lost it. One of the two. Okay, maybe I need to prograde it out then. "22 kilometers. It is well wonky, actually, come to think of it. I mean, if we warp to the periapsis here, I'm almost certain I need to do a good prograde burn to bring these together. Yeah, there we go. Look, here we go. Am I dreaming? Is that actually just not helping at all? Right. We're going to do either a radial in or a radial out to see if that helps. I'm almost certain it will. No, that made it worse, I think. We've got plenty of fuel, so this doesn't matter. And we don't have to get them smack on because we're doing an EVA transfer. There we go. There we go. That's what we wanted. 500 meters apart. I said it was going to get close, didn't I? There we go. So we just need to keep an eye out for it now. Oh, there it is. There's the other vessel catching up to us. And what we're going to do is we're going to do like a retrograde burn so that our relative velocities are almost nothing. There we go. And we can switch over here. We can see if we can get J-Bay out. I don't know if we'll be able to... Ah, hatches are blocked. We can't transfer, can we? We can transfer, but we'd have to undock. and do a docked transfer. Yep. Let's do it. We're going to do it. We're doing this properly, folks. We can do this. Don't you worry. Okay, so the idea here is that we need to actually swap these over and then swap them back again, which should be relatively straightforward because these turn around so smoothly. So undock, switch vessel, and then we just need to oh my goodness, set the right target. I wasn't expecting to have to do this. Set as target. There we go. That looks good to me. Then with this one we do something very similar. I think that is actually already set as a target. It is. Okay, and we want to make sure we're controlling from here. There we go. We don't want to crash into that second stage. Okay. I mean, it's a little bit risky at the moment. It feels like we are going to crash. What's our RCS like? Fine. Okay, let's do this. Make sure our engine's off. We got lights on this? Don't think we've got lights. Brilliant. Okay. Oh dear. I'm pretty sure we're not going to crash into the main rocket. This actually looks quite good. We are doing it nice and slowly though. It's 31 meters to go. I'm not sure about the angles, but with these ships being so close, we should be okay. Dock it! We are docking. Just got to watch the power though, because we've just come out of view of the sun. We are veering slightly off, but we'll be alright. Right, okay, here we go. So we're getting really quite close now. 20 odd meters to go. Getting a little impatient, so I'm going to make us go faster. Then make us go slower again. I just realised the lander's got lights on it for this. And I haven't got them turned on. Here we go. This looks good to me. Oh, come on. That's got to be 5 points to Gryffindor, hasn't it? Brilliant. There we go. Use the lights. I've got the lights. So, which one's got the parachutes on? Has this got parachutes on? Yes, it has got... Can't remember what's got parachutes on now. Okay. Crew. Transfer. Transfer J-Beta there. Brilliant. Done. Undock. Can I... Undock. There we go. Right, so this bit's the independent part. That will just turn the SAS on. and leave to float. Now we need to put this, whatever, there. We need to put that back on the end of here. We've got only monopropellant, and it's only a tiny bit. Okay, I think we can do it. The only problem is the relative velocities of these ships are not even now. Set as target. Right, here we go. This has got quite a lot of monopropellant on it though, so we can use that. So we can do control from here, and then quick. This is so dark. Set as target. Brilliant. Okay, so RCS, SAS, docking, engines off, shut down engine, and reverse. Okay, there we're going in some sort of direction. Let's turn it round so it's pointing the right way. I think we'd be alright. No parachutes would be bad, says Egg. That's a little bit of an understatement, isn't it? It's like, imagine trying to re-enter without parachutes. I mean, the TR-10 can almost do it. I don't know whether it's me or my skill. But now I've got to try and get this on target without being able to see. There we go. We've got a tiny bit of monopropellant, so we'll do this as the one that's the sitting duck, the one that's staying stationary. This is the one that we're going to make go towards it in full docking mode. 5 meters per second is a bit quick. But we are also 50 meters away, so that's fine. So we can probably speed this up a little. Just correct our trajectory a tiny bit. Wait until we get closer. It's looking quite good. Lights, reverse to slow us down. We've got lights with this one, which is good. Okay, we need to just get this to be aligned a little better. Looking okay to me. Oh, look at this. I'm not being funny, but am I getting good at this, or am I getting good at this? There we go. Right. Check the engines. Engine off and engine off. RCS off, SAS on. Brilliant. So this is now empty, and we're going to bring it back just for fun. We will do that first. Let's just check what's our orbit on this one now. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Should we do the fun? We'll do the fun one first. We will do the fun one first. Okay, so let's see. We've got no fuel there, and this has got a bit of fuel in it. It's probably best if we burn over here. We're not really going to potentially get to choose where it lands, actually. Actually, maybe we will. Maybe we can choose where it lands. It's going to be night time, though. Do we want to wait until daytime? Yeah, let's wait until daytime. We've been circling the universe for goodness knows how many years. We can wait a couple of days so we can come up in the daytime. There we go. Here we go. What a nice orbital ballet. Indeed. I do really enjoy doing this sort of thing, especially now when I'm not so terrible at it. Okay, so we're going to put ourselves in a retrograde angle. Just a reminder, there are no Kerbals on board for this one. We're doing this one just for fun. And it looks like this is facing the wrong way because we've got the wrong module in control. We want this one. Control from here. There we go. Now it's going to face the right way. So we're going to try and aim for the space center. I think we're going to overshoot, but with the extra drag of the lunar lander, we might be all right. Oh, and the moon's rising over the planet as well. Okay, here we go. We're suborbital, and there's our re-entry burn done. It's a bit complex for you. It's for a lot of games, I very often say, oh, there's no one thing that's really complicated about this. It's just a lot of elements coming together. That's what I very often say about games like EVE Online. For KSP, I'm not sure that that's really the case. I think there are some things in KSP which are just a bit complicated. Not beyond anybody's ability. I mean, if you research it and watch the tutorials and practice, you can do it. Okay, we are coming in. This is it now. We're going to fast forward. We're going to put ourselves at our normal radial out for a TR10 re-entry. We're going to make sure we're facing the right way, that the radiators are on. Let's see, radiator is on. Radiator is on. Brilliant. Let's just get ourselves rotated and orientated correctly. Yeah, you do get a feel for it. Like, it's like there are ways to learn which way you need to go to do something, like whether you need to use the normal or the anti-normal. But I wing it half the time, and I can do it. You know, yes, I've got a relatively large amount of experience with KSP, but it is mostly practice, and if you've got a basic understanding, like, okay, I want what we call the inclination of my orbit to change, that you need to go to the either ascending or descending nodes. Sorry, I said that wrong. The normal or anti-normal to change that. Then you're halfway there, if not most of the way there. If you use the wrong one, so what? As long as you don't waste too much fuel. Okay, folks, we are 87 kilometers up. We are likely going to overshoot the space station and splash down probably 90 to 100 kilometers out. Yeah, and some things you need to look up, like transfer windows. That's true. Although, Mr. Boot Sky, we did actually do an EVE transfer without looking it up. We, again, just winged it. And it was a little bit of an accident, and it kind of worked. Right. So, I'm going to fast forward until we hit the atmosphere. Then I'm going to fast forward again until we get to about 58-ish kilometers up. And when we get to 58-ish kilometers up, we need to bring in... We'll do it at 60. I'm going to not use the buttons on the joystick, because I don't know if this variant... This is an old, one of the early TR10s. I don't know what the buttons are set up for. There could be a button which is the abort, for all I know. So we're going to manually bring these in. Also, we don't have the controls. Like, I don't know how the controls for the lander and the fueler are going to interact with each other. I guess they just amalgamate. There we go. We can turn the lights off. We don't need the lights. Electrical charge is all good. We have a bit of fuel, but we shouldn't need it. Monopropellant is fine. We can potentially use monopropellant to keep us stable. But we're looking good and slowing down nicely. So I'm just going to speed us up a little bit. And here we go. There's the atmospheric heating. Let's put us on 1x speed for this to make sure that nothing goes wrong with all the things that can happen. We know things can go very wrong very quickly, but if you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. This is me bringing some equipment home just for the fun of it. That is a big surface area. This section down here is what I call the TR10. It's our test rocket 10. We never gave it a proper name. It's the second stage. The first stage booster already got recovered. And the lunar lander is on the top of this. We brought it back as a transport vessel. We are getting some heating on the lander, a little bit more than what we'd normally get on the second stage. Normally we don't bring things down on top of this. So this is like a massive experiment. I'm getting ready to do any RCS, but I don't think I need to. I think it's doing okay. We've just passing over the space center now. It is about 52 kilometers in that direction. The ship still needs a name, that is true. It's been an almighty ship. It's allowed us to do so many things for almost free. We can recover like 100% of the booster stage and 100% of the second stage. And it's just a matter of how close I can land it to the space station as to how much money we get back. Right, there is another engine stage on this, which I'm going to move out the way. Now, the lander's causing this to somewhat fail. So we will just let basic aerodynamics take over now. And we will move the chutes to the next stage. I'm pretty sure this isn't going to want to come down bottom first. You feel you've arrived at the end of a huge mission. You kind of have in some ways, because one of our main objectives of this series was to get enough research points to unlock everything. And we got that set up and sorted last time. It worked fantastically. So now we're bringing back all the scientists. This is like the end of the first chapter almost. This is like we've achieved something here in our story. Is it called story or is it survival in KSP? What do they call it? Story mode? But basically, yes, we've achieved something here. Now this is so unbalanced because we're carrying the lunar lander. I don't even know if we're going to be able to land it. We do have a little bit of fuel, so I will use the fuel to help us. Career mode. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. So many games call the same sort of thing different stuff. But yes, this is we've gone really far in this career mode, and we've unlocked all of the research now, so we're bringing back all the scientists. This is equipment that we had in orbit that we didn't need anymore, so we're bringing it back. We're still 7 kilometers up now, and it's drifting down quite quickly. The TR-10 second stage normally floats down at about 80 meters per second. This is coming down a lot quicker. We're almost certainly going to need these engines to be able to slow us down. You know what? I think I'm going to use the drogue. I don't normally use the drogue, but today I'm going to activate that drogue. We also need to rotate the craft because the drogue's on the other side. Whoa, steady. There we go. So that will deploy soon, I think. Won't it? Which one did I do? Let's try it again. There we go. There's the drogue. So that will slow us down a bit more. I am going to enable the other engines. So that should be all 3 engines activated on that stage now. Let's open main chutes. Just have... Oh my goodness, look at that flip. Mr. Bounce Guy says, my last big ship to Eve got eaten by the Kraken. Wow, real shame it had 9 satellites and 2 rovers. Wow. We're actually coming down really slow. I thought we were going to be coming down too fast. But apparently this many chutes can handle it. The only thing is we're not coming down very even, very level. Oh, it's the SAS system trying to overcompensate. Let's do a little bit of boosting just to slow our descent. And recover. No, not recover. We're going to brake. We're going to... Oh, we got most of it back. Actually, here's an interesting point. Right? And an important point at that. If our Kerbal was in here, he'd still be alive. There we go. So if our Kerbal was on board, he'd still be alive. And any landing you can walk away from... Back up a bit, Hellish. And any landing you can walk away from is a successful landing. So there we go. That's the rubbish dealt with. So yes, we're going to call that a success. At least it was interesting. We've never brought something down the end of that before. Now, what should we do next? We've got the Moonlander 2 there. Whatever that is. The TR second stage, which is 2 of the people. Is that a booster? I have no idea. These things are all lost their right names now because I've swapped and connected them around so much that it's all become a jumbled mess. Let's see which this one is. We're bringing them all down anyway, so I'm not going to spend my time to go around renaming them all. What we got here? Ah, yes, here we go. So this is our standard re-entry vessel. You can see we separate. We come down on a heat shield. Then we've got drogue chutes and main chutes. So all we need to do is point our bum. Get the men down. We're going to get all the men down. All the men and all the ladies down. The first people that are coming down are Network 17 and JB Man. Here we go. No, wait. I want to choose where they come down. Let's activate the engine. So that was pretty much where I wanted that splashdown to be. So let's now fast forward to... Yep, that'll do. That's about right. Right, here we go. Quickly. Let's get that periapsis down to 0. We're going to overshoot the Space Center as always, because all of these craft are designed for water landings. We don't want to land at the Space Center. Okay, that looks good to me. So we will soon jettison the booster stage. I think that's the 3rd stage from the Eagle one. This is a very old ship. I can't remember how we built these actually. So now we're about to come in over severe air resistance. So I think it's about time we knocked that stage on the head. Can't see any reason why not. Yeah, let's pop it away. Okay, looks like we've got a ghost stage. There we go. Goodbye. Now, some of these monopropellant tanks might explode. And that's kind of my fault. I just really hope... Let's just check we've got the drogues and the standard chutes the right way around. We have.
Fantastic.
Fantastic indeed. We've got a raid. Another raid. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. I don't think we've ever had 2 raids in one stream, so that is brilliant. Welcome, welcome everybody. I'll give a quick recap in a minute. So we'll make sure everybody's in, and then we'll say hello to all. Welcome raiders indeed. I don't know why I've got my hand on the throttle. There's no engine on this now. We just jettisoned that. So we've been doing this Let's Play now for, I think... about 25 streams, and we have managed to unlock all the science. Like, we've done all the research. It's all unlocked. And I'm just hoping that this doesn't get too hot. It's coming in very... Ooh, actually, the re-entry profile for this is different to the TR-10 second stage. This is probably going to land... I don't know, actually. It's a bit more bullet-like. We'll see. Yeah, it's a lot of streams, but we managed to unlock everything. So what we're doing now is bringing all our science crews home. And what we've done so far this stream is get everybody back to orbit of Kerbin. So we've brought 2 people from the surface of Minmus back to orbit of Kerbin, 2 people from the surface of the moon back to orbit of Kerbin, and 1 from the Moon space station and 1 from the Kerbin space station. So everybody is now coming down. These are the first. I think we've basically got 3 ships, each with 2 people in, and that is all of the. That's all of the people there. We've got no temperature gauges showing up yet, which so far is good. We're starting to hit some of the thicker atmosphere. The ablator appears to be doing its job. The heat shield ablator is at 185, so that's good. Speed is just coming down to just under 2 kilometers of orbital velocity. The only thing I need to do on this landing is deploy chutes at the right time. There's just one button to do that. The big black and red striped one on the top of the stick there. Yeah, this is going to be relatively close to the Space Center. I was aiming for the water right in front of it, so we have come over slightly to the right. What is that? Is that the debris floating around? I hope we don't smash into it. 1.5 kilometers we're going at the moment, sidewards. Still no temperature gauges, so this is a good move in. But we're going to start to get some serious deceleration now. We're pulling just over 2 Gs. Network 17 and JBayman, 2 of my Viewer Plus subscribers, are now nearly feeling 3 Gs. 3 Gs. There we go. Cool. So we're looking good. We might even turn SAS off at the moment. The goal of my career is to get full broadband internet to every planet. Oh my goodness. Moon in the Kerbal system. Wow. Geosats and all sorts. That is a big target. You know what? This is one of the closest landings we've had in a little while. We're only about probably 30 kilometers away from the Space Center there. But we're falling at a very nice speed. I wonder if I turn SAS off, whether it would just start to topple. I don't think it would. That's something you don't have to worry about in KSP. Random debris in Earth orbit smashing into your stuff. You do. It's just space is big and there's not that much debris up there. So, I mean, if you wanted to, you could pull a lot of debris in orbit of Kerbin. And you might even smash into it. So it is still technically possible. I mean, we nearly crashed into our own space station earlier on. Right, I'm going to deploy drogues at about 3k. Speed looks fine. There's drogues. Drogues have opened. G-forces got up to about 8.5, 9 Gs. Which is not the best. But it's okay. See, with unmanned ships, I let them come down quicker, but I give myself that bit of safety net by letting these ones come down slowly. I say slowly, it's actually hurtling downwards at about 37 meters per second, which is fast. You do not want to be going down towards the ground in something 30 odd meters per second. So there's our final deceleration now. A little bit later than what I would have done normally. We're coming in at about 6 meters per second. 6 meters per second is not a problem. Wizard Brandon says, in real Earth orbit, there's tons of it. In KSP, it deletes stuff over 10k from you or something. Not really true, Brandon. Okay, so anyway, JBay and Network 17 have splashed down. So if it's something that's in orbit, like it's not on a suborbital trajectory, it will still stay in space as debris. So let's recover the vessel. And we'll see what's next. It was a good landing. It was a good landing. I was quite pleased about that because that was a very old ship. Now we've got the risky ones. Do you guys remember why we call it the TR-10? It's the Test Rocket 10. We never upgraded it and gave it a full name. And the reason we never gave it a full name is because we never Kerbal rated it. We never said it was safe enough for Kerbals. Now we've launched Kerbals on it. I don't actually ever remember bringing a Kerbal back down on the transport variant of the TR-10. This rocket here. So this is going to be hopefully fine, but potentially a bit of an experiment. So we're going to warp until we're around 90 degrees from the Space Center. Let's just go a little bit more. Like I said, we don't tend to use maneuver nodes here. We just wing it. It's fine. And then we just make sure we're pointing the right way. So retrograde. Yep, bum towards the direction of travel. This one's got Real Fella and Nudger. Thank you very much, Real Fella, for supporting the channel, and indeed Nudger too. For any new people Viewer Plus is my own subscription program. It's kind of like Patreon, but there's no middleman, so people can get to support me directly. And that's what I mean when I say they're a Viewer Plus subscriber, and I sometimes put their names into the game and stuff. So that is what I'm talking about there. Okay, let's do our deceleration burn then. Let's power up these engines. And that is it, I think. Yeah, that's all we need. So we're now on our suborbital trajectory. We're heading roughly towards the space center. Let's go back to our radial out, which is how we enter this one. Now, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, the version with the crew one on was the most unstable out of all the TR10 variants. Let's check that the radiators are on. They are not. It's a good job I checked that. We only have one solar panel because we damaged the other one. I have no idea when. How much is the Viewer Plus thingy? If you want more information about Viewer Plus, it's on my website. It used to be cheaper than a Twitch sub, but then Twitch changed their prices, so I don't know. And there we go. We can just fast forward now until we can get close enough to the point of re-entry where we have to be somewhat careful. Okay, so we're now out of space itself. I am going to fast forward at 3 times speed until we get to about 60k, because that's when we need to start folding in our equipment. So retract the solar panel and retract the antenna. Let's just check the radiators are still both working nicely. And we have loads of monopropellant if I choose to use it. So if we get a little bit unstable, there we go. Apparently it's still cheaper than a Twitch sub in the UK. Yeah, that's cool. So let's see how close this one gets us. I am going to do a little bit of 2 times speed. The game is quite stable at 2 times speed on my computer, so that's not too bad. Okay, so there's the re-entry heating. So I'm not 100% certain how much of this re-entry heating and re-entry effects is due to friction and how much of it is due to the build-up of pressure. Because you end up like with a pressure wave as the vessel is coming into the atmosphere, and it's kind of creating a... Like if you drag your hand through the surface of a swimming pool, you create a small bubble or a wave or a hump in front of your hand where you're basically increasing the pressure of the water. That's part of what's happening here. There is a temperature sensor there which I'm a little bit worried about. But so far so good for the TR10. Is that creeping up? It's fluctuating slightly. Looking at our trajectory, I hope we're not going to land on the land. Yeah, we should be okay, I think. We have actually got a little bit of fuel, so if I need to kind of push us into the water, we should be okay. But so far, this is looking pretty swish. We're going straight over the space center. Temperature gauges have all disappeared. Chutes are ready. Don't think I'm going to use the... I'll use the drogue chute. If there wasn't passengers on board, I wouldn't bother with the drogue chute. So now the question is, how long will this nicely belly flop before it becomes unstable? Because as soon as it becomes unstable, we turn the SAS off, and that's what actually makes it better, apparently. So here we go. I think it's once we get under 300 meters per second, because once we get under 300 meters per second, I don't think there's enough wind going over these flaps, over these tail fins, and it just starts to go. It looks like it might be doing it now. So I might... We're doing alright, actually. And look how close we are to the space center. This is what I tried to do last time. Every time we've done this tonight, we've got closer and closer. Okay, SAS is going off now. Whoa! Okay, it's diving. It's nose diving. Twitch sub is $3.99, viewer plus is $3.50. There you go. Viewer plus is still... Oh, we're actually accelerating. SAS on. Radial? There we go. I don't mind if we tumble, as long as our velocity is not too high. Or if we go in retrograde. I don't think we'll be able to get this thing retrograde. The top is too heavy for this sort of entry. But some powerful SAS. You've got to remember that these tail fins are doing a massive amount of the work here. Oh, we just lost electrical charge. We still have control though because we've got our people on board. Shoots. Okay, so there is the drogue. So if this was an unmanned one, we'd have had it now. Because we wouldn't have been able to do stage things. Yeah, the thing is though, is that, I mean, I've left the lights on for a start. That's not good. But to be honest, this thing comes down quite well without SAS anyway. It kind of floats quite nicely. And they just pulled about 4 Gs, so that's fine. Not a problem. Ooh, we don't want to do 4 times speed. Things randomly explode sometimes when I use 4 times speed. We actually had one of the rockets land on the surface of the water at 4 times speed, and it would have been fine, but the Kraken came out, and we ended up 62 kilometers under the surface of the water. Luckily, there was nobody on board, so no Kerbals were harmed in that. Okay, so we've just done that with these guys. Now, the interesting thing, well, it's interesting to me, is that we've got an identical one up in space. By the way, the TR-10 can fall over and be fine. I tested that. It was an impromptu submarine. Yeah, but it must have gone at the speed of light, because at one point it was at the surface, and then at the next second it was deep under the ocean, like whoosh, bang. So I don't know what the time dilation effects of that are. I just remember I took a COVID test before I started the live stream and I forgot to check it. So I just had a quick look. No COVID. Okay, so that should now leave just 2 Kerbals to bring home for tonight. And I think they're over here. I like the way we're you're immune? You mean your immunity has been boosted to it? I don't think anybody could even possibly be completely immune. I think that's just technically not possible. Anyway, here we go then, folks. So we're going to do this one. I'm going to do this one. I'm actually going to do 1 orbit of Kerbin to get ourselves in a better position. I missed it. I'm going to do it one more time. It's a problem with time acceleration. You've got to get it about right. So there we go. So this one hasn't got much fuel on, but it should be plenty to get down. I think you're more likely to be invisible than invincible. The last of today. Yeah, this is the last landing of the day. I think. Usually what we do, if we get to the end of the stream and we've still got some time left, we'll do something a bit daft. We'll like make a weird rocket, or we'll put extra things on our aeroplane and just do a bit of experimenting. Just for a bit of fun. That doesn't look right. Is our periapsis our periapsis is going down. There we go. Did I do the giveaway? I didn't do the giveaway. Let's start the giveaway. What are we giving away? What is a giveaway? Let's sort it out here. Okay, so I'm going to do a game giveaway. Follow the instructions in chat to take part. You can only take part if you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube. If you win and you're watching on YouTube, you'll need to come to my Discord to claim your prize. If you're watching on Twitch, then we can give it to you directly. So if you have a choice, enter via Twitch. The game giveaway is for State of Mine, and follow the instructions in chat to enter the draw. Good luck, everyone. You've got 10 minutes to enter. Speaking of entering, we're going to be entering the atmosphere soon, so we're going to check and activate our radiators. Did I get that one? Yep. We're going to make sure our orientation, and we got our windward side facing the right direction. There we go. And we can just time warp until we come out of space. You ran out of power, don't you have a radio scope? No, I don't have a thermo generator on board, no. But it doesn't matter because I just had Kerbals on board doing the job. We shouldn't run out of power on this one because I won't be messing around with the SAS quite so much. We just turn the SAS off. It's fine. Right. We're just about to drop out of space. There we go. And we'll fast forward to about 60 kilometers. So this is the last time in this part of the series, in this chapter of our expeditions, that we will be bringing one of these back home. We've got Jesse Kaboom and Wizard Brandon on board this aircraft. Thank you very much, both of you, for being Viewer Plus subscribers. Your support of the channel, as well as your sacrifice in our space program, is very much appreciated. Okay, we're going to bring in the panels and stuff. Like I say, because this is an old ship, I don't know if the key bindings are right on this one, so I'm not going to try it. We do have so much monopropellant left on this one, so I can choose to give us a monopropellant burst if we need it. I don't think we will. We're coming in really low. Is that meant to be state of mind? I don't know. I just copied and pasted it. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, so we're going to come in at two times speed. I think we'll be okay with 2 times speed. We've only got 1 temperature gauge, and we're coming in at roughly 2 kilometers a second now. 40 kilometers up nearly, and we've got more temperature gauges, but that's normal for our spaceship. Temperature gauges seem stable. The radiators are doing their job. 1.5 kilometers a second. We are probably going to splash down just in front there. We've got a new YouTube subscriber there, I believe. That is, I don't think that wouldn't be a Twitch sub. Don't sub to me on Twitch. There is a problem with that. Please do not sub to me on Twitch. Thank you. And we're through the big bits. So electrical charge is now dropping like crazy. So this is where we now turn the SAS off for a little while. We do a little bit of plummeting for a couple of kilometers. They're nearly... Oh my goodness. They're pulling 2 Gs spinning around here. We'll get the drogue chute out soon. That'll help. Yeah, do not sub via Twitch. Looks like we're coming down nice, and it's actually stabilizing now. It's a... Considering it's a big tube, it's a relatively good glider. It is. But it'll be nice to get everybody back onto Kerbin. Bring everybody home and have all the technology. And we'll have nearly 3 million in the bank account as well. Right, that drogue chute's coming out. There we go. I don't think the drogue chute really helps that much with stability. I just put one drogue chute on because I wasn't that confident in the vessel's ability with Kerbals on board. This is kind of still a test rocket. It hasn't had that many re-entries. It's had lots of flights out, and we've been taking things places, and we brought some of them back empty. But this is the first time I ever remember bringing any significant amount of Kerbals back. Okay. We're going to leave the SAS off, open the main chutes. There we go, pulled 5Gs. 5Gs is alright. Nothing wrong with 5Gs. I suppose we could put the landing legs out, but I'm not going to. It's going to be a water landing after all, isn't it? It is going to be a water landing. There we go. Here's the last ones. 30, 20, and coming in as for a splashdown. There we go. Jesse Kaboom and Wizard Brandon back home. Is there a max G for Kerbals? I think there is, but I think whether that applies depends on your game settings. There we go. Right then, so now we can have a look at the astronaut complex and see that we've got no assigned astronauts. I would like to take a moment to remember the terrible, terrible decision of mine to attempt to land a moon base with Kerbals on board with an experimental landing system. Lexi, P.T. Hudson and Matt Stratt, you died, and it was my fault. But we have a fantastic company of pilots here, engineers and scientists. Many of them are level 3, and they can be doing all sorts of things. We've been playing the game for nearly 7 years in game. We've got fuel systems, we've got a lot of money in the bank, and we've researched everything. Oh, you can zoom out further. That's weird. I thought it wouldn't let me zoom out further previously earlier on. So, what we can do is just we'll just warp to sunrise so we can actually see what's going on. But new viewer plus subscriber, fantastic new viewer plus subscriber. Welcome to the squad. Mr. Boat Sky, thank you very much. It is much appreciated. A Kerbal is never killed, it's just lost in space. Well, that's kind of true, and it's kind of not true, because they're not lost. They were squished and smeared across the surface of the moon in a big, violent explosion. But we do remember them. We remember them with what is hopefully going to load. There we go. The 3 flags for the 3 lost Kerbals. There we go. And I think that is going to bring the main part of today's stream and series to a close. Again, thank you very much for subscribing. Mr. Bout Sky, you bring us up to 44 viewer plus subscribers. We've currently got that target of 50. Also, thank you to Exo, who we thought was actually an error. We thought Exo was an error, like my code wasn't working or something. But it turned out, nope, that is their username. So thank you to you. Right then, what time is it? Oh my goodness. Okay, I was going to say, what can we do with the rest of our time? But I realise we've actually gone over time already by 10 minutes. So please do bear in mind, this is not the end of this series. We will come back with some specials, but this is going to be the end of the regular KSP Tuesday night videos. Keep an eye out on my social media and Discord, or even Hellish News, to find out what's going to be replacing it. I will be taking probably a week's break on this night to get ready for the next thing. I am like 90% sure I know what it is. I know we've been talking about it in the Viewer Plus Discord and all that sort of thing. But I want to say a massive thank you to all the viewers, because not only have you supported me through the Viewer Plus program, but your support on stream is amazing. Your help, your tips is brilliant. I would not have progressed from the ability that I was to the ability I am now without the assistance of you guys. So thank you very much, and I really hope you've enjoyed this series so far. I have immensely enjoyed it. It's just like being able to achieve so much more in this game than I ever have before has been special. You know, it's not very often that I can grab a game and feel that I've done particularly well at it. Obviously, I can play OpenTTD quite well, and that's something that I'm used to. But Kerbal Space Program, that's a whole different kettle of fish. I just realised we actually have 4 minutes left for the giveaway, so we can't end the stream until the giveaway is finished. So let's have a look and go back to the Space Center. I'm not a dev, Brandon. There might be new people hanging around on stream. Don't confuse them. But yeah, we'll have a look, and I think we've got a good amount of money, so perhaps upgrading some of the buildings might be nice. The vehicle assembly building is 845,000. So is the space plane hangar. I think it might be a good idea to upgrade one of them. We've already upgraded the launch pad fully. We've already upgraded research and development fully. I'm not a dev. Well, I'm not a dev for what they say I'm a dev for. They keep saying I'm an OpenTTD dev. I'm not an OpenTTD dev. I'm not a gamer dev. Okay? I even have a t-shirt that says it. I think upgrading the tracking station is probably important. I'm at least 98.3% sure I'm not an OpenTTD dev. There you go. At least that much sure I'm not a dev. Not yet anyway. Yeah, I mean, QD might make you a dev one day. Yeah, QD is a project that I would so love to push forward on, but I would have to stop my photography and I would have to stop my content creation to actually work on QD, and I don't think I'm willing to stop creating content to be able to work on the quantum distortion project. I'm thinking at the minute, like, upgrading the astronaut complex is cheap enough, and the tracking station could be useful to actually have the better power unknown object tracking. We're going to need unknown object tracking if we want to do other things. So, yeah, how rude. It's like, hey, I make content and you've all subscribed to me. Now I'm not going to. Bye. You know, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't cut it off just like that. That's not what we're here for. So we're going to upgrade that. Oh, yes. And then we're going to upgrade the astronaut complex. What? Vessels that are landed at the astronaut complex will be removed. Oh, please remove them before continuing. Oh, we have to move the flags. Well, I suppose we've flown the flags outside the astronaut complex now for about 5 years. And we will remember them. We've got them in Twitch clips, and we've spoken about them today. So yes, we will now recover these. I think it's time. The time has come. There we go. We could rename the ones that are on the moon, that's true. Oh, there we go. Now, how much is it? Oh, look, it's only 150 to upgrade the administration building. Ah, I see, it's a lot more now. It's 500,000, and we've only got... There we go. Right then, I think we've upgraded the launch pad, the tracking station, research development, and the astronaut complex fully. I think we have to do the VAB. We need to be able to get more than 255 parts on a rocket. So let's upgrade that. And that's the end of our upgrades. We'll upgrade the runway, the space plane hangar, and administration building at a future date. Let's have a look. We've got a plant a flag on Minmus contract. We could have done that before we left. Oh dear. Bring volcanic rock from Eve back with you. We've got tourists on here. Radial decouplers orbiting Minmus. All sorts of weird stuff. Lots and lots to do. Science data from space around Minmus. We need to do that. Because it's going to expire in 12 years. Science data from space around Minmus. We have the space station. So we'll have to go and do that. The place they died trying to get to. Yes, Brandon, that would be somewhat appropriate. What's this? Oh, that's the lab, apparently. Or it's bits of it left over. Oh, that's splashdown stuff on Kerbin, isn't it? Yeah, okay, let's recover that. That is splashdown stuff on Kerbin as well. God, things are really starting to clean up now. So we've got a TR-10 second stage in orbit of the moon, which I'm pretty sure has a refueling thing on it that we'll never use. Let's go down to the Minmus space station. The tracking station has nice music. Yeah, it does actually. I've never thought about it before. There has been games that have influenced my music. One of the key ones, I think probably the biggest ones, was I think Gran Turismo 4, or was it 5? Because one of those games had some feeder tracks in it, and I'd not really been into feeder before that, and I really liked those tracks. And when I found that the songs were on one album together, I think there was 3 of them, I was like, okay, I'll buy that album. And ever since then, I've really loved feeder. Jackamak says, I love the Eve music, to be honest. I actually have the Eve music turned off, not because I don't like it. Not because I don't like it. Right, this is the Minmus space station. It's actually got the old Moonlander on it. So if you want, I kept saying, oh, this is the new version of the Moonlander. That's the old version. It works on Minmus because the Delta V is enough. Doesn't work on the moon. You run out of Delta V and have to use monopropellant to get back to the space station. But what it does have on board is some science devices. So we can log the temperature, transmit it back. We're going to get no science. Not that we need the science, but that will complete the contract. And we get 46,000 just for doing that. There we go, folks. Now is, I think, an appropriate time to mention Eve. So one of the things that's going to be upcoming on my channel is some Eve videos. I do have an Eve series if you're interested in checking that out. There's a playlist on my YouTube channel, and it's like a continuation of that series. And we're going to be playing Eve on Discord some Monday and some Friday nights. And I'm going to record what happens, and if interesting stuff or fun stuff happens, then we're going to turn them into little episodes to include on my YouTube channel. If you want to get involved with Eve or give it a go, it is free to try. So go to my website, masterhellish.net, and there is a link in the Support Hellish section. You use that link, and for some reason you end up getting the premium, then both me and you, I believe, get benefits. I think it lists the benefits. Right then, it costs about 2.5k science to convert all future science in money. Hang on a second, let me try that again. It costs 2.5k science to convert all the future science in money. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. That's probably my fault. Let's end the giveaway and let's see who the winner is. And the winner of the giveaway is... Oh, no one. No one entered the giveaway. There we go. Interesting. Oh, I'm with you now. I know what you're talking about. So yeah, if you go into the admin building, we don't want any more science, but we'd want more money. So we could do... We could probably do this. So it takes 100% of science gains from contracts and it yields funds for each unit of science. And it takes it for field work and gives you funds. And it costs 2,700 science. Oh, I see what you mean. That would be a good thing for us to do, maybe. You've seen Feeder, Bill. I've never seen Feeder. The bands that I remember seeing are Blink 182, McFly, and Faithless. They're the only... and Lindisfarne. They're the only live acts I think I remember seeing. That's a good tip. I'll remember about that in the administration building. I don't think we've used the administration building this entire Let's Play. But there we go. Well, before I clock off for the night, because we've ran well over time for this live stream, just once again, thank you very much to everybody. For the people not just watching live, but for the people that watch afterwards as well, because it's all their likes and or their shares on the videos, which absolutely really does help keep the channel going as well as the support from the Viewer Plus subscribers. So thank you one and all. Again, if you're not watching live, check out the playlist, because by the time you're watching this, there could be another stream or video added to the end of the playlist for you to look at. I am hoping to do a handful at least in the near future. So take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your evening, whatever you're up to, the rest of your day. Tomorrow we've got a lunchtime session with the Viewer Plus subscribers, and then Thursday night we've got our RimWorld Let's Play, which is part 2 of building our escape ship. More spaceship stuff, but in a completely different game and a different scenario. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching, and for now, goodbye.